trying to figure out what's going on in reality overseas, trusting Twitter, trusting mainstream media, I've reached a simple conclusion. It's basically all lies. Every time you try to go down a rabbit hole of literally any headline grabbing piece of news, it seems like at minimum, that's not like the whole story, okay? Which you could probably say is true of a lot of things. But then there's times where it's just outright false. And I've fallen for it. Lots of people have fallen for it. And I made a vow yesterday to try and get better at it. Better at determining the whole truth. And I think part of that comes from not being worried about being the first to report something, which is normally kind of important for the Hollywood stuff that I cover. But in this case, the fog of war and the insane levels of fake images that are getting put out there, you almost have to wait just a little bit to figure out what's really going on. Because I read a thread today with 12,000 likes claiming a picture was certainly fake, that it had been reused from a 2018 event. Thousands of people agreeing with it. The only evidence, a simple Facebook screenshot. I've asked for and received no archived links of this original article that everyone seems to be claiming is proof. Now, maybe it exists, and I spent the last hour looking. I also put out like an APB on Twitter, received no evidence of it. And so now I have started to lose faith in almost everything. I've got a bunch of things to go over today that appear to be debunked. And in my continued goal of getting better, I think I was probably about 20% accurate when I started this. After today, I'd like to at least be 60%, 70%. Let's see how I do after a quick word from this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access VPN. Look, it's 2022. Everyone should be using a VPN by now. They unlock content, they provide an immense amount of privacy, and much more. From a privacy standpoint, not using private internet access would be like forgetting to mute yourself on Zoom and then talking about your coworkers. For unblocking content worldwide, watching Netflix without private internet access is like paying for an entire spa day, but only getting a facial. Private internet access unlocks content. It adds an extra layer of protection. It conceals your internet traffic, your true IP, yours alone. You can access your favorite content, region-locked content. There are thousands of worldwide server locations. And I've been working with private internet access so long, they have a massive discount for you, my subscribers, when you use the link in the description or in the pinned comment down below. So get protected, get access to all the content you deserve, and save huge by using my custom link in the description or pinned comment down below to get private internet access today. Now, there are many people saying this, right? This particular person, made in Canada, PPC candidate for Essex County, mother of 3, believer in God, following 3,000 people, has 6,000 followers. That's always a good sign. Shared this picture, a picture we've seen in numerous publications. What are the chances the same woman from an event in 2018 ends up the exact same way in 2022? See thread. Her thread is a couple of images. Now, from what I can see is the building does appear to be the same. But again, this is just a screenshot. So let's say 50-50, okay? When you only have screenshots, you really have to dig. And I dug through this thread, and I didn't find a single archive proof of any of these articles. Then you see a screenshot of a post on Facebook that does not have the date on it. when it was posted. It shows a woman that looks very similar. And this person says, not to sound unsympathetic, but just wonder why our media is using the same woman in 2018 after she survived a natural gas issue in her building this year as she survived allegedly missiles. Do you just use the same picture in your new stories? Is this not the same woman? Ask yourself and think for yourself. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. She doesn't, the bandages are different. She does look a little different to me. Now, the building does look very similar. In this thread, there are other images. What I can talk to you, what I can show you here. Local Distance, which is an excellent follow on Twitter, laying out exactly the type of stuff that you've probably seen if you're watching on Twitter. This is the perfect example of how easily empathy-poisoned people can be used and manipulated. It happened to me. It happened to me. This man is actually Russian. He's sending his family to Russia while he fights against Ukraine. That guy is the aggressor. Proof? Telegram post from February 21st and pick 2. You see all these articles. I saw this exact one. Ukrainian father says goodbye to his daughter before sending her away from danger. He is staying behind to fight for Ukraine. There are some who preen and posture about masculinity. They go on and on about male strength and insist on their own power. But when evil comes, they end up siding with the aggressor. And then there's men like this. Except this man, according to his own posts, is in fact Russian and fighting Ukraine. A touching moment with tears in his eyes, the head of the family escorts his wife and daughter from Gorlovka to Russia. War again came to the long-suffering land of Donbass as war is declared by Ukrainian government to civilians of the Independent Republic of Donbass. Residents of Gorlovka are evacuated daily to Russia, fleeing Ukrainian aggression. Today we have witnessed the touching farewell of the head of a family to his wife and daughter, whom he saw off to Russia. The man who remained in the city to defend the Republic from the AFU with weapons in his hands and tears in his eyes accompanied his family to Russia in the last hope of a quick meeting that would end the lasting and eternal peace would be established on the land of Donbass. 2. Original Telegram link before. This is how you know you can trust this. This statement is generally like a trustworthy person. What I'm saying is both sides, okay? Both sides. I'm trying to depict it evenly. So we have what appears to be Ukrainian propaganda and also, well, Russian propaganda that's also being used as Ukrainian propaganda. It's actually insane. 3, that guy does not want to fight any more than anyone else does, but Hannah's analysis is based on the idea that certain men, she means conservatives, side with the oppressor. Well, that guy is fighting for Russia, and this war, Russia is the oppressor. Her simplistic woke analysis of everything is a failure. When you all have a hammer, all you have is a hammer, everything else exists that looks like a nail. How about this article? Now, this article is the only publication I could find. Maldita.es, talking about the 2018 same woman being used. So I don't know if Maldita.es is, I meant to get this when I'm first talking about the woman image, if they're like some trusted source in news in Spanish, I don't know. But what I do know is it's just another piece. They say fake. Ukrainians posting fakes. This is something that happened in a gas incident, but is claimed to be Kharkov, Ukraine, consequences of Russian bombs. Fake. You see an apartment complex is devastated. The footage. So you're just getting all these pieces, right? And then we have this article on the BBC. Just showing a smallest. Now you might say, well, the BBC is lying. Okay, maybe they are, right? But if nothing else, this is a lesson in, like, for myself, just happening live with you, but like a lesson in, like, oh, okay, cowboy, like, there's probably more. This is from a day ago and just a small sample of the false images that have been shared, again, by both sides. This was a tweet posted by the verified account of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. Misleading posts come from official sources as well as ordinary social, quote unquote, ordinary social media users. Could be bots or sympathizers or active propagandists. The footage of an aerial dogfight is accompanied by the caption, MiG-29 of the Air Force Armed Forces destroys unparalleled Su-35 of the Russian occupiers. However, it's video game footage from the digital combat simulator world. This isn't the first time gaming footage has been used to illustrate military action. One clip of the old and incorrectly labeled footage has been viewed over 18 million times on TikTok. It claims to be Ukrainian troops facing off with Russian soldiers at airbase. While it does show a confrontation between Ukrainian and Russian forces, fact checkers logically have ascertained that the footage was filmed in 2014 during the annexation of Crimea and was filmed at the Belbek airbase near Sevastopol. Again, just fake news. Neither one probably, I don't know if there's a particular side that benefits from this. The same footage was aired by the BBC Turkish at the time, so they owned themselves. Another incorrectly labeled clip on Twitter claims to be a Russian airstrike on Ukraine that caused chain reaction at a power plant. We saw this video, right? Various uploads of the clip have been viewed hundreds of thousands of times. This video actually shows footage from the 12th of August, 2015, Tianjin blasts in China. One TikTok video, 27.5 million times and shared by thousands of users, that is assumed to be from Ukraine. The clip shows some military fatigues shouting and laughing in Russian as they parachute over a farm field. Although the caption just says original sound Roman, users have assumed that the video is Russian troops taking part in the invasion. In fact, the video footage was filmed by a man that appears to be a member of the Russian armed forces and uploaded to his Instagram account way back in 2015. Then there's inconclusive footage. There's also the footage of, the ghost of Kiev, which statistically mathematically would have been impossible for him to down. He would have had to down all 6 Russian losses in that day. The actual planes that were reportedly down didn't match the ones that were downed. Did a Ukrainian fighter jet down planes? Probably. Did he down 6 of them? Unlikely. I mean, this goes on and on. In some cases, it's impossible to verify the truth behind a viral post. One example is a clip of a missile being fired toward a residential area in Kiev by a low-flying jet. The footage has been viewed more than 2 million times on Twitter. However, the aircraft is traveling way too fast, and the video is too poor of a quality to verify which country's air force plane even belongs to. There's a debate to whether or not the residential area was deliberately targeted or a missile was fired in error. Well, that doesn't change the people that received it. There's also been conflicting claims over the identity and intention of the aircraft. There are innumerable people using this woman here, okay, the Daily Mail, does not, she looks similar. The background, let's just say it's at least in doubt, right? It's at least in doubt. So please join me in being skeptical because both sides seems to be pretty baloney sausage. And breaking through that is just a huge task. And what you find at the end of it, what I found now, about 6 hours into my journey, is almost all of it is BS. I've trust my sources, my viewers that live there in Russia and that live in Ukraine more than I probably trust this stuff at this point. I'm getting lots of emails from people inside Ukraine and Russia. Both obviously have their point of views, but it seems to be more realistic than anything I'm seeing online. So be careful out there, friends. And when you're online, make sure you're careful and you're using private internet access as well. I hope you were informed by this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.